Hi, I'm Kate Camerata, and I develop new plays and musicals in my theater company in New York City. I started Create Theater 8 years ago just to create and develop new work. And now, thanks to the generosity of streaming musicals and Mill Iron Studios, we are happy to present the Create Theater Monday Night Development Series. Now, this is a web series about the creation of new work, which means every week you'll be able to see a new play or musical in development from New York or from anywhere in the world. This is really exciting, and it's truly the 21st century way to keep theater vital and alive. Many of these shows have never been on stage before, and so I would love to hear your feedback. And now just sit back, enjoy the show, and don't forget to like and subscribe below. You don't want to miss a single Monday night with us. And now, Lady Capulet by Melissa Bell.
Act 1, Scene 1. A tomb. Darkness. The body of Tybalt lies covered with a white shroud. On another pallet, the bodies of Romeo and Juliet lie together, under a white shroud, stained with blood. All cast is on stage, wailing and mourning the dead.
A gloaming peace this morning with it brings. The sun for sorrow will not show his head. Go hence to have more talk of these sad things. Some shall be pardoned, and some punished. For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.
The mourners slowly file out until one figure remains. A single light flickers across the covered face of Rose, Lady Capulet.
Here lies the aftermath of all my doing. My plans, my manipulations lie moldering in this vault. Juliet, the last child of my husband Capulet, I still hear thy gentle voice. She now joins my other poor lost babes. Tybalt, her cousin, friend, brother, the only son of our family, I still hear thy rage. Tybalt, who once rose as the golden sun, now lies here, sleeping, unaware of the secrets surrounding him. My brother kept his word, even to this day, even as I denied him. Our secret lies only with us, and I will keep that secret until I too rest here beside my children. But now, I find myself prematurely here in this vault, and the voices will not be silenced until I close this door behind me. Tybalt, Juliet, you must hear now in death what was not told in life. It began with a party.
Scene 2. The palace of the Prince of Verona, 16 years earlier. Lights up on a wedding celebrating the marriage of Lucio Valencio to Helena, the cousin of the Prince of Verona. There is music, glasses clinking, people talking. Rose Valencio, almost 14, Lucio's sister, stands transfixed on the celebration before her.
What a pretty party! I've never seen such splendor, such opulence. Even these apples seem made of gold. Look why that maid's gown is woven with golden thread. It makes mine look so plain.
It was fine for the County Antonio's party a fortnight ago.
A fortnight ago, we were living in the middle of a cornfield. Tonight, we are in Verona, at the prince's manor. This dress will not do?
If it was good enough for the County Antonio, then 'tis good enough for Verona. 'Tis your father's will that you look like a sweet country maid, fresh from the meadow at your brother's wedding.
The ladies of Verona do not wear muslin or linen. They wear silks and satins, and their bosom is not tucked in and covered with a dainty handkerchief, but on a full display like peaches in a bowl. Find me a pair of scissors. This neckline must be cut.
Stop tugging, my Rose, or you shall ruin the dress.
But I look like a child. I must have a different dress if I'm to ride at all with the gentlemen of Verona.
What man cares about a maid's dress? A man would rather see a maid without a dress than in a dress. 'Tis truth. Men care for two things in a lady: her purse and her pocket. Her purse must be full, and her pocket must be empty. That is the truth, by my troth.
Go tell my mother and tell her I must change out of this country dress, or I shall jump from the balcony to my death.
Stay calm, my Rose. I go to your mother and see what can be done.
If only I had wings to fly as a blackbird to the fields to partake of such a feast as this.
Yes, the blackbirds eat much corn in our fields. You laugh at me, sir. Why do you laugh?
I laugh only at innocence.
I'm not so innocent.
Oh, but you are. You answer so plainly, I do not understand that I realize the fault must lie in myself. And so, I laugh.
Sir, you speak in riddles. I must take my leave.
Nay, I shall explain. In matters of courtship, Castiglione teaches the courtier to use a metaphor to test a lady's desire. In turn, the lady may pretend that she does not understand his meaning, and therefore, he may retreat without losing his honor. Perhaps I am not as skilled in the art of metaphor as Castiglione. I must practice.
Forgive my provincial ways. You have taught me a valuable lesson, a lesson I take to heart, along with the teacher.
I am awaiting a teacher myself. I am an apt pupil, always at attention.
My lord, I blush.
You are a quick learner.
And you have much improved in metaphor.
A quick wit will bring you much success in Verona.
My brother Lucio hath the quick wit in our family.
Ah, your sister to the groom?
Yes, we are distant kinsmen from the south, now made closer to the prince by my brother's union with Helena, the prince's cousin. And by relations, sir, I know not of you.
I am Montague.
I am Rose.
A name as sweet as the bearer. Ah, the music begins. I bid we foot it and dance.
Montague takes Rose's hand and they dance. The dance begins formally, but the intensity grows. They touch hands, arms, waist, back. They gaze at each other. At the song's end, they are in the throes of passion.
Good night, good sir.
They remain transfixed as in the dance. Her hand in his hand on her waist.
Sir, you must release me.
My skin is soft and supple as the rose petals quivering beneath my touch.
You have touched too much, sir. The rose must withdraw from the sun.
Nay, I would touch thee more. As the sun kisses its creations to make them bloom, the blossoms turn their sweet faces to follow its warmth. Do you feel as I do?
What do you feel?
I burn as the sun. I long to inhale the perfume of the rose.
You must have an audience with my father.
It is already arranged.
Arranged? How can that be? We have only arrived a week.
The prince is a great friend. I am told he was made a case on my behalf with the father of a girl from the country.
The prince spoke with my father.
I am happy to say I approve the match.
A match? With me?
'Twas a secret to be announced later tonight. Alas, I am not very good at keeping secrets.
I am excellent with secrets. My lips shall not betray thee.
Then let thy lips betray thy feelings, and share with mine in a true love kiss?
Perhaps our hands might act as lips, and two hands join as one heart in a bond.
'Tis said this is a custom among country people.
Aye, when the vicar is absent, a couple may join hands and become one until he returns to confer the marriage rites.
This custom is superior to the longer-range betrothals of Verona. Dost thou agree?
I am used to the ways of the country, but I seek to learn anew in Verona and do as is customary here.
I wish to be rid of the conventions of Verona. I am sickened by all I see, but my eyes are refreshed by thee. I cannot remove them from thy exquisite face. I cannot remove my hand from thy hand. Grant me one moment with thee alone.
Anon to the garden.
Nay, the moon has made night into day. It might betray our secret as has betrayed many lovers this evening.
I know a place at the top of the stairs to the right, the third door beyond the passageway.
Go, and I will slip away soon after. I will knock thrice.
By my troth, where is that girl? Gone to change her dress, no doubt. Headstrong, rebellious girl. Anon, I go to find her.
Scene 3. A chamber in the palace. Rose stands in a slip on the balcony, overlooking a garden. Her hair is mussed, her clothing disheveled, and spread around the room. Her lips dark and her eyes dreamy. She leans on the ledge and sighs deeply.
Montague. Montague. What a curious name is Montague. It rolls on the tongue and delights the ear to say his name 1,000 times a year. His scent hangs in mist on the edge of night, then clouding my gaze, through love's smoky haze appear such wonders, feel such heights. His kiss burns my lips as incense to an idol, rising and swirling until his bride I'll be. Stay close. To thee I'm e'er bound. Our own true love we hath found.
My mistress? Rose, I've been searching for thee. What is this? Come to change your gown? Look at it on the floor, a mess. What has happened here? Villain, where is he?
There's no one here.
What villain hath been with you?
No one.
Oh, he hath taken much, that villain. Where is he hidden?
There is no one here, nurse, no one but myself.
You have ruined us. Here in the palace, you foolhardy girl, who does such a thing at her brother's own wedding? Will you disgrace your family so?
I have done no wrong thing.
I smell him. You think I know not the signs of lechery? Tell me, Rose, what hath taken place?
We did as lovers do in the country. We placed our hands thus, and hand to hand we pledged our true love vow.
A vow? I vow that more than a vow hath been exchanged.
We swore by the moon our love. Then we kissed, and oh, when I think on it, I am enraptured. His touch.
You've lost much by this touching.
He goes now to ask my father for my hand in marriage, as he promised.
What folly.
He is true, he is a Montague.
Montague. The name Montague is bandied about the kitchen in no good manner.
A noble family.
A noble family that is worse for the wear of a father that gains too much. They say his father gambled away a fortune and left young Montague without a penny.
The prince hath made him a match that will remedy his misfortunes.
The better families lock their daughters away when he calls.
I am that match. The prince hath arranged it, and it shall be announced tonight.
I know not of this.
Look. A lock of his hair, exchanged as a promise, and I gave him mine.
This is foolishness.
He told me true, 'tis arranged with my father.
Your father sent me to find thee.
To take me to Lord Montague.
Lord Capulet, newly arrived at the feast, requests a dance with you, and your father wishes it so.
Capulet? Who was Capulet?
Older, but a fine gentleman of Verona. Now you must cleanse yourself of that villain, or something might take root and grow.
When Montague is with me, happy mother will I be.
I pray for thy happiness, but now you must do as you are told. Climb up on that bench and jump.
What? Now?
Aye, it must be hastily done. I bid thee jump 5 times.
Rose climbs on the bench and jumps.
I do so again. Again, do not stop. This is the remedy. A wash of ginger and vinegar. It is known to work. Now wash. In and out and around. Take care thou must. Now, thou smelt fresh and clean and without scandal, as a maid should. Thy hair was rudely cut. It is ruined.
No matter. Quickly. Back to the hall of my betrothal.
Scene 4. The hall where the wedding celebration continues. Rose enters with the nurse. She sees Montague across the room.
There, nurse. There is Montague.
Where?
There, walking across the room with the green sash.
That one?
He nods to me. He smiles, a knowing smile.
He is handsome, I'll give him that.
He is more than handsome, he is noble.
Nurse pushes Rose behind her and blocks her view.
It is unbecoming for a maid to stare. Look askance, and I shall tell thee what transpires. There, the prince hath called Montague to his side. They speak.
Oh, I blush. I burn.
The prince takes his arm and leads him.
Oh, what force takes hold of me?
In the direction of thy father.
My heart is pounding in my ears.
Father nods. They return the gesture.
I am breathless.
Thy mother nods.
I speak.
Not.
With my father?
Nay, my lady, they pass.
My father follows them.
Thy father stays. The prince leads young Montague to yon country gentleman and his daughter.
Tease, I shall make thee pay for this.
The prince speaks. Montague looks confused.
Thou hast developed an acid humor.
He bows. Too long. He rises. He places a mask before his face. He places a fan upon her bosom.
Where's my fan? I'm heated.
He leads the maid to dance.
What? He dances. With her?
Turn your back, avert your eyes.
What has she that I have not?
A bigger purse, I wager.
No, it is not possible. He would not betray me thus. He loves me and I love him. We promised our love.
Promises are oft broken.
Take me from here. Hide me in a tomb, wrap me in a shroud, for I cannot live with this shame.
Take hold, my mistress. You must parry on the same field.
I say I cannot. I will go to my bed. I cannot stay a moment longer.
I say you will stay. This morning you are but a country girl, unaware of the vile ways of men. But now you are a woman of Verona. If you have been played, then you must become a player. Now, prepare thyself. Wipe thy eyes. Here comes Capulet.
Good evening, nurse. Why dost thou keep this young beauty so close?
I must guard her beauty and honor, sir. This is my mistress Rose, sister of the groom.
A rose in both name and in nature. I am Capulet.
My lord Capulet, I am pleased to meet you. I am a simple country girl and unknowing of gentlemen of this fair city.
It is her father's wish to introduce my mistress at the court.
Then allow me to inform you. Over there is Lord Martino, the merchant who deals in silks. And there, Vitravio, a large landowner. And I am Capulet. And now you know all of Verona. At least those who matter.
Surely not all. I see many more dancing. Do they not matter?
Oh, well, there dances young Montague. His family is near ruin, but he is a great friend of the prince, who for love hath arranged a match between him and the country maid with whom he dances. She brings a great fortune, and Montague, though poor, brings entree to the court.
A match, you say? Made this evening. How do you come by this intelligence?
Well, I have the prince's ear, who shared his great happiness with me.
Then this will be profitable for them.
And perhaps I will profit by it as well. His father owed a great debt to mine, who died before he was repaid. Now, the Montagues pretend that debt is null. There is no love between our families, but perhaps now. But such talk is not for parties and beautiful young maids. When the music calls for dancing?
Give me an open field that I may parry upon it.
My lady?
I'm sorry.
Will you not dance then?
Sorry for the loss of your father. I cannot imagine my life without my father or my brother.
Aye, family is everything. My comfort is that I am my own man and can do as I please. The music is struck. Will you take a turn with one such as I?
Yes, and I shall show all of Verona that I dance with one who matters.
Capulet holds out his hand. Rose pauses, then takes it, and he leads her proudly to the floor. Capulet and Rose dance. The scene changes around them. The lights change, and when they spin back to center stage, they are dancing at their wedding. 2.5 months later. Rose is wearing a glittering tiara, and Capulet a gilded sash and scarf.
My lord, husband, I am out of breath.
I leave you breathless?
Breathless with happiness, my lord.
Thou art happy. I see the blush in thy cheeks, the swell in thy breast. Thou art a blooming rose. How sweet is thy name. How apropos. Thou art the prize of my garden.
My lord, I shall cherish this day forever.
Nurse, I see thou hast made generous at the feasting tables.
Aye. My dinner is where I find enjoyment. The youth make much with their dance and sport, but we who spent our youths running after babes and wiping their noses and arses and changing their caprices and breaking up their fights, well, we have become old and grizzled. And now we make merry with what we may for the rest of our time. Aye, this fruit of life doth not last long.
Rose reaches out and plucks a plum off the nurse's plate. Nurse lightheartedly slaps at Rose's wrist as she escapes with the plum.
Away, villain, avaunt!
Thank thee kindly for the plum.
Rose giggles and takes a bite. Rose becomes sickened by it. She spits it out.
Nurse, 'tis bitter and sour.
Is what you get for taking what ain't yours.
'Twas spoiled and it sickens me. Help me, please.
My dear?
I'm afraid it won't stay down. Oh.
Rose heaves. The nurse grabs a nearby spittoon as Rose turns to a corner and vomits the plum into the bucket. Capulet stands by anxiously.
'Tis nothing. A rotten fruit coupled with the excitement of the day. 'Tis enough to turn a stronger stomach than hers, this little slip of a girl. Children oft get sickened when they're overexcited. Married lady she may be, but not yet 14. A child still is she.
Rose, dearest, are you unwell?
Nay, a moment of stomach upset. I fear my nurse is right. Today hath been an excitement.
And more to come tonight in the bridal bed, I should think. Come, let's away and prepare for your lord and master. He will come to thee this evening and make you a bigger lass.
Only if you are well enough to receive me.
A moment's rest is only needed, my lord. My cheeks are ablaze and my mouth is sour. I must take my leave and prepare. Come to me later and all shall be ready. My dearest Lord Capulet.
My dearest Lady Capulet.
Ah, what fresh buds adorn this hall. These women! Oh, tonight my sister is the earth-treading star among them.
Indeed, her beauty makes her a swan in the presence of ducks.
Where goes thy swan?
To rest.
Ah, she may set up her rest, but when thou enter, she shall rest but a little.
And what of Helena? She is scarce this evening. How fares she?
She bears the burden of my affection.
How now? Wait, she is with child?
How now? Why, in the usual way.
My new brother, I wish thee well and pray for a son.
Indeed.
Now, where is my new sister, that I may congratulate her?
To be truthful, she is not well and left.
Oh, no, I'm sorry to hear that.
She is often sickly. The babe has churned her stomach, and the sight of food sickens her. She spends long hours on her bed and in her lounge. She came only today because of our great happiness for our sister.
Sickened by food.
The mere sight of food sickens her. She has become thin where she should be getting bigger. But the midwife says 'tis only a passing stage, and soon all shall be well.
I sincerely hope for it.
Yeah. Well, I hold you here no longer, my brother. The body hand of the dial is at the prick of midnight. One more toast and I bid thee farewell. Oh, 'tis not a farewell, 'tis a welcome into the family of Valencio.
And thee into the house of Capulet.
They shake hands and embrace. Lucio exits and leaves Capulet alone on stage. Capulet walks to the table where a bowl of fruit sits. He reaches out for a plum. He hesitates and thinks for a moment. He picks up the plum and takes a bite. Scene 5. The same evening, the bridal chamber. Nurse enters, carrying a bundle of sheets.
Foolish girl, who knows not the signs nor the symptoms? All must be ready. The thing must be done, and done in secret. She has no brain for it. She must learn, and learn quickly. Life will be her teacher.
My stomach. It abates yet. When I think on the banquet, it rolls over once more.
I shall make thee a ginger tea. When was thy last flow?
My flow? My flow. I remember not. Things have been a whirl, what with my brother's wedding, my own betrothal, Helena's announcement of her coming babe.
Think!
Oh, no. So it must be with me? No, it is not possible.
Yes, shameless girl, it is possible. The remedy was no remedy for that villain.
Montague.
Now 'tis known, and we must deal with it straight on.
But what about Capulet? What will he do when he finds out?
If he finds out, 'tis our job to make sure he doesn't.
How?
His eyes must be so glazed with love that it will blur any question.
But if I cannot accept...
There is no choice.
But I'm not sure I can simply...
Do you think you are the only girl who has been in this hitch? You must do your part.
How?
Men are prideful, and they take pride in nothing more than their staffs. You must draw him in. You must cry a little.
I will cry.
You must please him.
I will please him.
But not too much, or he will suspect your maidenhood.
I am a maid, but for that one time... Oh, when I think of Montague, only 'twere he.
Wipe that vile name from your lips unless you wish them to betray, as he did to you.
If only I could wipe him from my heart.
Close your heart. Steel thyself.
Why did he not come for me?
Don't be a fool. You know why he did not.
I am fond of Capulet, but he has not the passion of him.
You must ignite it. Fire him up. Forget that villain, or all is lost.
I will eat soap to quiet my tongue.
Now, take these sheets. I have bloodied them this moment with blood from the butchered hens fresh killed for the banquet. You see the red stain? Like the stain of a maidenhead burst upon a wedding night. Are you listening?
I am here.
Place this bedsheet beneath your pillow. Take care to conceal it. When Capulet has had his fill of lovemaking, he will sleep. Then you will place this sheet between your legs. In the morning, call to me, and I shall carry the sheets to the morning vespers for the blessing of the consummation. Now, sprinkle with rose water, and all is done. Dost thou need the ginger tea?
No. Thank thee, nurse. The sickness has passed.
Thou hast a strong stomach. Thou will need it.
Thank thee for thy guidance. I am ready.
I will away and tell Capulet that all is ready. Expect him shortly.
How now, my bride? Art thou recovered?
Aye, my lord.
Thou hast changed.
I'm glad you noticed. My nurse and I took great care to arrange my trousseau.
Not the dress. Thyself. You seem much changed.
I am now a lady.
And I thought I married a maid.
Only for a little while longer.
So it seems. So it seems. But perhaps not yet. Something is amiss.
Tell me what it is and I shall fix it to thy liking.
Can you? The bed feels crowded.
Then I shall order a new bed, a longer and wider bed for my husband's comfort.
Would you?
I think only to please thee.
Do you?
I, my husband.
You say you are a maid from the country.
That I am.
Well, are there not suitors in the country to woo and court a young maid?
Aye, there are parties and dances, as in Verona.
And didst thou have many suitors?
There were many competitors for my hand, but thou hast won the field and gained a wife.
Wife. Wife. It is strange to call thee wife.
And yet, that I am, have not the priests and friars made it so? What then shall we call each other? Shall I call thee by thy Christian name? Or perhaps a pet name, only to be spoken by me?
Or perhaps I shall call thee my country wife and keep thee there.
Speak not in riddles, husband. I am, as you see, a simple country girl.
Aye, thou art from the country, but thou art no simpleton.
I should hope not. The maids in the country are insufferably stupid. Their hands are large and their legs are thick as logs. I am glad to be rid of them. Look at my legs. They are like the willow branch, lean and supple. My skin is as the rose petal, soft and fragrant. Come, my lord, partake.
She opens her robe. He responds to her body, yet again resists her.
Are these the words of a country maiden?
They are words of a maiden who desires to do her duty to her husband.
Duty! Is that what you call this?
My duty shall become thy pleasure, my lord. I seek to pleasure thee.
Well, what does a maid from the country know of pleasure?
I know but little.
Rose reaches out and touches Capulet. Capulet accepts the pleasure, but then backs away.
Where did you come by the knowledge of men in such a way as this.
It is natural that a woman should learn to please a husband.
Well, methinks thou knowest too much. You are no maid.
Think not that because I am from the country that I am innocent of these matters. I have been educated.
Then you have knowledge.
Not by man, but by nature. Have you ever seen two horses in love? They're most beautiful to watch. And they nibble one another and stroke their nuzzles upon each other's necks and whinny and cry out their passion. The mare might dash away, but the stallion chases her down, his manhood driving him. And when he mounts her, and she submits, 'tis a force of nature.
Rose caresses Capulet. Capulet resists again.
You have changed. My husband, you are cold to me. Has marriage changed thee already?
I feel a shadow.
There's no one here but us.
Something pecks at my mind. A memory, the significance of which now occurs to me.
Our memories are sweet. They're all significant.
No, we were at the prince's villa.
Last moon, newly betrothed.
We were in the gardens.
You put your arm about my waist as we walked among the roses. How scandalous, my lord.
I went to call the groom for the carriage, and on the way back, I saw him.
There was a throng of people.
At the edge of the garden, looking at you as I've never seen a man look at a woman before. Montague.
They both were there. That giddy wife of his.
He was alone.
Glued to his side.
He approached.
Intolerable.
You lifted your face to him.
I saw him not.
The horses passed, and he was gone. But your face, I remember the look on your face.
If you saw this mirage, why did you not challenge him at that moment?
The carriage came between us.
Why not step forward?
He was gone.
And this proves me true, my husband. 'Twas a figment.
Your face, your eyes filled with tears.
The dust from the carriage.
Then you do remember.
No, I only offer a reason.
You would speak to him out of my sight? No, I will not be cuckolded.
Why should I speak with Montague, who lives off his wife and owes a debt to my husband? Did you call it in?
I have not.
A debt that can now be repaid, yet you ask not. His insolence hath invaded your brain and spreads as a fever to kill your joy. Leave behind this figment and join me in our bed. I am feeling neglected.
You tell me to doubt mine eyes?
Jealousy of Montague hath deceived your eyes and turned you against me. Why let Montague cloud your brain when you should make your claim?
I have the ability to count, my dear. I shall bide my time. And if you are what you say you are, it shall soon be known.
Capulet walks to the door. Rose springs up and blocks the door.
Perhaps it was I who sighed mirage. Blinded by thy honeyed words, I did not allow myself time to find other suitors in Verona. You would reject me on our wedding night. No, I shall not be trapped and shamed by a weak man who cannot ask for a debt to be repaid. Is this the man that stands before me as my lord and master? No, my lord is strong. He takes what pleases him and leaves the chaff in the field. If you wish to leave, leave. But I shall not wait like some simple country girl for you to change your mind. I shall hie me to the church and demand an annulment.
And bring shame upon this house?
To be rid of an impotent man! I will dance in the streets to be rid of such an albatross, even if it brings me death. Leave! Leave! I shall throw your ring from my window to the streets!
She pulls out her ring. Capulet grabs Rose by the shoulders and slams the door shut.
I own thee, and I say you shall stay.
I remain only for a husband who is a stallion. Prove me thus.
Capulet kisses Rose intensely. She pushes him away. He holds her firmly. He kisses her again. Rose pulls Capulet's hair. Rose allows her robe to slip off her body. Capulet becomes more aroused. They struggle until Capulet makes love to Rose. Scene 6. A hall of Capulet, morning. The nurse enters, dancing with the bloodied sheets, and holds them up for inspection. She dances about the room in celebration.
It is consummated! They are one! Oh, here is the proof to show the honor of my maid. Oh, now, my Lady Capulet, hear, hear, hooray! My Lord and Lady Capulet, anon to the church for the final blessing. May the seed of Capulet be strong and produce many sons.
Scene 7. 5 months later. The house of Lucio. Lucio enters and Rose embraces him.
Rose, I did not receive word you were coming. How now, traveling in your condition?
Where can we speak undisturbed? Not by Helena, not even by thy servants.
We can talk freely in this chamber.
How fares Helena?
She grows weaker. She eats not, sleeps not, laughs not, cries not. She fades.
And the babe inside her, what says the midwife?
Its heart beats, but lightly. 'Tis a weakling. Neither mother nor baby thrive. We fear for them both.
She's so weak while I so strong. My belly grows daily without stop.
Aye, thou art the bloom of motherhood. Capulet is a lucky man. But sister, what ails thee?
Thou art my brother and loves me and wilt stand by me.
Aye.
Lucio, if I tell thee a truth, wilt thou hold it and keep it safe as I have for thee?
My sister, thou can depend upon it.
Swear. Swear by thy unborn child.
I could not swear upon my unborn child for fear of endangering its life. Allow me to swear on something else.
Then swear by the child I carry.
It might bring thee bad luck.
If only that were so. Swear, Lucio, on my child's life.
I swear on thy child's life to keep thy secret, but what is this about?
This child I carry is not 5 months, but nearly born.
How? Thou seemst not far along.
I've been binding myself. If I loosened the binds, thou would see that I am twice the size of Helena. I can no longer conceal it, even in the darkness.
What of it? If Capulet hath plucked thy virtue before the wedding, what is that to anyone? He is thy husband now, and if the child is early, then...
The child is early, but not by Capulet.
When? Who was the villain?
A mistake, my brother.
Was it Antonio from the other county?
No. I was a maid until we entered Verona.
Was a maid, and then?
And then I was a maid no more.
Evil child, hast thou brought shame and disgrace upon us? When? How?
It matters not. Only that I was deceived in the most cruel and devastating way by a wolf of Verona who pledged his love and stole my greatest jewel. He walks these streets in pride and puffery, yet lives off the dowry of his bride, a fool of a girl. She in turn sits at his right hand, that place he promised me. If I tell, wilt thou promise not to avenge?
Why should I promise that? He who defiles my sister is dead to me. I will challenge him this very day.
And reveal all to the town of Verona? We cannot risk such an action. Hold in thy passions as I have learned. Revenge is a dish best eaten cold.
Who then? I pray thee tell.
Montague.
Montague? Montague? That fox. Prey upon a chick just left the nest. And Capulet?
He suspects. I did not know when I married him, but it soon became apparent to me and our nurse. I have tried to hide it by binding myself, but he ruminates. I see it in his eyes and in the set of his jaw when he looks at my belly.
Has he sent thee away?
No, I came of my own accord, my brother. I must hide my shame, my secret.
You bring me into thy circle of deceit?
You must help me.
Vile girl, why should I help you?
I was your constant companion and helper in all mischief since childhood. I sat at your feet whilst the saber master taught you the sword and learned all you did. And when the rude boys of the city challenged you to a duel, back to back did we fight and triumphed.
Aye, thou can parry like a pirate.
And when our father gained in wealth from the corn grain brought from the New World, did we not together plan a path to Verona?
Aye, and see we are here now?
And when the serving girl with whom you dallied became thick in the belly and tried to name you the father of her bastard, it was I who found a reliable footman and told our father, who forced their union,
No more,
saved your honor for Helena to raise the family up to Verona into the prince's family.
Enough!
There is a price to pay for advancement, Lucio. That debt is called. We must unite, brother. If Capulet finds the truth, he will not forgive, and all of Verona will turn against the house of Valencia.
What dost thou need?
Let me stay, brother. I must stay until I lie in. With any luck, the babe will not survive.
Luck is not to be relied upon. You are healthy and your time grows near.
If the babe is born alive, I will suckle it but a little to stunt its growth so it remains small.
Stunt its growth. That would starve thy babe.
Not starve. Keep it small. When the right time has passed, I shall present it as a newborn to Capulet.
Rose, it is a living being.
'Tis not a being yet. It cannot survive on its own.
Can this still be my sweet sister Rose? Is this the child who cried at the loss of a kitten when my falcon swept down upon the litter? No, this is another.
The wolf ate the rose and left the thorn, my brother. I cannot go back. I must follow the fate that has been thrust upon me.
There is no way to hide this abomination.
You would rather I dash its head against the wall?
Thou wouldst kill thy babe?
To save my family's honor? I, Lucio, at this moment, you are a favorite of the prince. Do you wish to lose your standing? To be scorned and spit upon because of Montague?
To hell with Montague. Damn him and his family to hell. I shall bide my time, but I will not forget this abomination to our family. I shall be revenged. Stay if you must, but do no harm to the babe. I'll not have that on my head.
Lucio, brother, I am thy servant.
I don't know if I love thee too much.
Thank you, brother. I will send word to Capulet that I am unwell and must here remain.
As you say, so it shall be.
Scene 8. A room in the house of Lucio. Lucio arranges some cut yellow flowers in a vase. Rose enters. She is much larger in the belly.
How now, my brother?
Fair.
I've not seen much of thee these past few weeks. Art thou avoiding me?
Am I not the master of mine own house? Come and go as I please. They're impossible.
Shall I help thee?
No, I haven't now.
I saw the midwife. How fares Helena?
She fades. We fear for her and the babe.
Fear not, brother. All shall be well.
I take these flowers to cheer her.
Thou art a considerate lover. Why, Helena? I should be the one to suffer.
Such things upon thyself. Yes, thou hast made a grave error, but I do not wish to see thee dead. And as you say, soon all shall be well. Go now. Here comes the nurse to visit thee. I go to take Helena this brightness.
Oh, Lucio! Lucio, stop! Oh, God, I must stop him.
What is it?
Oh, for the sake of your son.
Sit, nurse, what is the matter?
The flowers. He must not take the flowers.
Take them to Helena.
This is the reason. Now I understand.
What are you prattling about now?
The reason. The reason for Helena's sickness. 'Tis a tansy.
A tansy?
The flowers, tansy. Poison to the babe. They cause much harm.
Nurse, didst thou call out to me?
Lucio, you must not
It is
go.
nothing, dear brother. Our nurse has newly arrived and simply has not seen you as much as she would like. Lucio is very busy with Helena. Go to her, my brother.
But you must not take her.
To Verona. You must not take Helena to Verona today. It is very hot and still she must rest today.
He's not planning on going to Verona today. Thank thee for thy concern. Good day, nurse. Rose?
Good day, dear brother. Love to Helena. What did you say?
How could I say anything?
About the tansy flowers.
You stopped my mouth.
Of course, thou simpleton. What did you say about the tansy?
'Tis an ancient adage, perhaps forgot to this day, not to send a nosegay of tansy to a woman with child.
Is it a bad omen?
Nay, not an omen, a danger. While the flower itself would not harm a bee, the honey would cause an ailment in the stomach. A tansy tea would cause even worse.
A tea made from the dried flowers.
And the leaves.
And what would be its effect?
'Tis known to cause a babe to miscarry.
Miscarry? Immediately?
Aye, upon drinking just moments later.
What? How?
It is used when the babe is stillborn and as a last resort only to save the mother, but at great cost.
And why did thee not use this before on me?
Many survive not the birth nor the tansy tea. I sought to rid thee of the seed, not of thy life. I will not be thy
Now thou wilt
murderess.
do as I instruct. Cut the tansy for thy herb closet, take enough for 2 cups, and when it is dried, go and brew me a strong tea.
My lady, I will not. Did you not hear my caution? A tansy tea might be the death of thee.
Wouldst thou see me in my grave one way or another? Capulet learns the truth, he will not forgive. He will take revenge. Dost thou wish us banished to our homeland in shame and despair with a bastard to boot? The crows shall roost, and the hatchlings emerge. Go, now. Do as I command, and do not return until thou hast done thy duty to thy lady and mistress.
Scene 9. A few days later. Cries are heard throughout the stage. Voices offstage are sobbing. Rose lies on a pallet, heaving in labor.
My brother! Bring me my brother!
My lady, the birthing chamber is no place for a man.
Oh, Lucio! Lucio! My brother, come!
Please, I will go to fetch him. No, he comes to me.
Lucio, brother! Take my hand.
Why didst thou call to me in my grief? I have been delivered of a stillborn girl. We wrap her in swaddling and prepare her for the childbirth.
Oh, wait! Do not take the girl away. Bring her to me. Bring... Oh, give me the girl and let me hold her. Nurse, bring her. Promise me, Lucio, bring me thy babe and put her to my breast.
My lord?
Who is she asks?
My child comes. Lucio, my brother, help me.
Yes, the babe, it comes. Nurse! Nurse!
No! You, Lucio, you must deliver it yourself. Only you must see this child's birth.
But how? What do I know?
I care! I only care to rid myself of it.
The head appears. Oh, yes, it comes of itself.
It has come. Oh, it cries out. Oh, Joe. Take it from me.
Oh, God, it cries. I help you, little one. It is a boy, a healthy son.
Take him, Anon. Take him away before anyone hears or sees him.
Thou wilt give up thy babe?
I must. Capulet cannot see the child, he will know, and all will be lost. Lucio, you must take it. Take my child and place him in Helena's arms. Tell her that her babe, that dead, has revived and now lives.
Nurse enters with the body of a baby, wrapped in a white shroud.
The poor sweet babe, so small and lifeless.
Lay her in my arms.
Nurse places the baby next to Rose.
This is my child, stillborn to me this day. Lucio, rejoice. I give thee thy newborn son. Take him to Helena and leave me in my grave.
And Capulet?
He has come to the house and awaits news.
Bid Capulet come to me. Soon we shall all be blind with grief. Now call in my husband.
There is more to do here.
Do as I bid!
I know thee not.
Go, nurse. Bring Capulet.
Rose, what has happened?
No. I've lost the babe. A miscarriage. She's dead. Died in my womb. She was a tansy.
Tansy?
The flowers that grow in this estate. I touched them before my nurse could warn me. The nectar killed the babe in my womb, and I was forced to deliver her dead.
Twas a girl. A sweet baby girl. The ringlets on her head are as thine, thy sweet wife. Her eyes, as dark as midnight, shall see no day, no night. Fortune is strong. It is thine, her mother.
Her chin, 'tis of our family. But her brow, my lord, that she hath got from me, her father.
There is the semblance. And Helena, how fares our gentle sister?
Helena was delivered of a healthy baby boy.
Hey, boy. Helena hath born a son.
She sleeps and remembers not of her suffering, nor of his birth.
And his name? What have they called him?
Tybalt. They have named him Tybalt, a fine and handsome lad.
Tybalt. Tybalt. 'Tis a worthy name. The first of our family. A light in this darkness.
Cruel fate! Thy brother celebrates this night while we weep. He sings unto his boy while the earth swallows our joy.
I have failed in my duty to thee. I have failed.
Rose, no.
Husband, dost thou forgive me?
1,000 times I forgive thee.
Capulet takes Rose's outstretched hand and holds it to his lips. Scene 10. 2 years later. A garden in the court of the Prince of Verona. There is music gently playing. We hear the voices of families and children playing. Montague enters. He gazes to a far-off spot and watches.
There walks the one for whom all nature bows. A smile so gentle that the night retreats into sunshine as she appears. There floats her dainty hand upon his fist. Hers, soft and supple. His, hard and cold. When I breathe, the thorn still pricks, and I must quell the bile of regret that rises in my throat. Why? Where was my strength that I was not able to take that hand? Confounded heart, torn between my prince and my love for her, my manhood spent like Samson. After the shears, I became a lamb that was led to the altar and sacrificed before a single bleat left my lips. Now she sits, surrounded by friends. She hath gained much in these 2 years. A favorite of the court, a doting aunt upon Lucio's son Tybalt. See how she crowns him with kisses, smothers him with sweets, plays with smiles and frowns until all are laughing. Such merriment, such happiness. Whilst I sit and watch from afar and cannot join their laughter. My wife, Anne-Marie, is still a child who nods and smiles, but speaks not unless spoken to. I know not her mind, her likes, her dislikes. When asked her view, she replies with bovine eyes and answers in that tiny voice, "What pleases my lord?" She knows not how to please a man of my nature and needs. Why did I agree? But anon, the men are off to view the prince's dogs, and the women go to take their rest. Yet look, she lingers, she is alone. Mary, I must speak. Your flock hath flown and left you for fairer fields.
Does the crow return to caw and peck at the grains upon the ground?
If there be but one morsel, it shall serve it as a feast. My Lady Rose, thou art as lovely as the day I met thee.
I know not of the day we met, sir. You are mistaken.
You are right. 'Twas the night.
One cannot see clearly in the darkness. I know thee not.
The dark has blinded me. When I returned to the light, I held not the flower, but the thistle.
Do not make metaphor with me, sir. I know not thy game nor thy intent, nor why you speak of moonlight and roses at this late date.
'Tis not too late. 'Tis only the morn. There is a full day ahead and happiness to come. The flowers bloom, their nectar is sweet.
The flowers bloom, but the bee does not stop to consider the value of the flower. It is single-minded in its pursuit of nectar. 'Tis its nature.
A rose is still the sweetest of the field.
A rose has thorns.
The thorn hath pierced my heart and caused a slow bleed. It has taken the life out of me. I eat and thirst without taste. There is no pleasure in love, for love does not exist. The bee hath been stung by the thorn of the rose and cannot survive.
You speak in riddles. I will speak plain. I am not the fault of your suffering. You have brought that upon yourself with your love for gold.
Not for gold, for honor.
Honor? You dare speak of honor? Begone, false sir.
Wait, Rose, you must listen. My honor is first and foremost to the prince and to my family.
As is mine. You would sully mine to prop up yours. My brother would have slain you for my honor, but I refused him that pleasure. Leave me, sir. Go to your family and I to mine.
A mistake. I admit it now. By all that I hold dear, I pledge that I have not forgotten thee. I ask only a moment to speak unhindered, unseen by gazing eyes and wagging tongues of Verona. Alone, tonight in thy garden. I will wait.
My nights are filled with feasts and merriment. Capulet entertains lavishly. We are much desired company in Verona.
Do not ask lightly. I know the price.
I wager you do not.
My fortunes have changed. My cousin, the Duke of Mantua, hath deeded me a villa high above the banks of the Mincio River.
Mantua?
Villa with lands and an income far from Verona to live as I please, but for one thing. The rose that pierced my heart.
My lady, your husband calls for thee.
My family calls to me.
Tonight in thy garden, meet me.
Where is she? Like the girl again, my lady Rose.
My family awaits.
Wait. You quiver under my touch.
'Tis the breeze.
'Tis not the breeze, but strong emotion. Canst thou love me still?
I know true love, but I have not found it in a man's heart.
I have kept it safe. Tomorrow in the garden, tomorrow and tomorrow, I will wait every night for a week at midnight.
And if I come?
I shall carry you off to Mantua, there to live in love for as long as we both shall breathe. Dear lady, what say you to my plea?
Wait if you wish. 'Tis on your watch.
Sirrah!
Capulet enters, sword drawn. Montague reacts quickly, steps back, and draws his sword.
Sirrah, I must challenge your intentions. Why do you speak to my lady such?
I seek an audience.
With me or with her?
With you.
Why come to her and not to me?
I sought to soften the way.
I have seen the soft way you look at my lady.
Your lady is beautiful indeed.
Capulet lunges at Montague, who counters.
You once danced with her, did you not?
I remember not.
At a wedding party?
I danced with many girls at many parties.
I once admired you for that, being able to take anything you wanted while I was ignored for my face. That night, I vowed to take what you desired. Now you are back, come to take what isn't yours.
Capulet jabs at Montague.
Were she mine, I would crown her head with diamonds.
Capulet lunges at Montague, who counters. Rose rushes between them.
He comes to pay a debt and asks my blessing.
And wilt thou cover for his treachery?
Rose grabs Montague's dagger from his waist. She brandishes it against Montague.
You hath challenged mine honor, sir, and for that you must pay. I am true to the vows I have taken. I stand thus.
Montague takes a step back. He lowers his sword and bows his head, but doesn't take his eyes off Capulet.
If coins could repay, I would give thrice the debt. Plunging that knife into my breast would be a comfort yet.
You seek my lady's comfort, I shall cause thee a greater discomfort.
Capulet jabs. Montague takes out a bag of coins. He holds it up.
Sir, this is a debt long due you.
Montague tosses the bag at Capulet, who allows it to land his feet.
I hold close what I hold dear. I need not your paltry coins taken no doubt from that fawn you call wife. Does she sleep well while you were out at night?
Have a care, my lord, desist. We are in the prince's garden. Husband, dost thou wish to lose everything thou hast gained? Settle this at a later date.
For thee, I will bend. But you, sir, stay clear of me and mine. If you so much as look at the hair on my lady's head, I shall run you through.
Capulet spits on the bag.
Leave it for the dogs.
Rose places down the dagger near Montague's feet. Capulet gathers Rose by the arm and leads her away. Montague picks up his dagger, sheaths it, and exits. Scene 11. The stage is dark. A point of light shines through a window. A long shadow is cast across the stage. Rose enters, wrapped in a dark robe that covers her face. She carries a large bag in one hand. She holds a lantern in the other. As she crosses the stage, a cry rings out. Rose freezes. The nurse enters, gasping.
My lady! My lady!
Oh, wake the house. I am here.
My lady, go quickly.
God knows where I go.
He sent word, but you must have known, for you are already leaving.
Was he such a fool as to alert my entire house?
Lord, have mercy. Please don't take him from us. Go, my lady, and lay thy healing hands upon him. A child needs his mother at a moment like this.
What has happened? What child?
Tybalt, the child is sick with fever and near death, and none can comfort him.
Tybalt sick with fever.
Here, the note from your brother begging you to come at once and for me to bring my remedies. He begs us not to wait till morning, or it may be too late. Oh, my basket, my remedies. Oh, Tybalt, I come.
Yes, hurry, get thy remedies. I must go to him. Tybalt.
What ho! What is this upset?
Tybalt lies dying with fever.
What?
My brother calls to me and our nurse to save our dearest boy. Nurse, have thee thy remedies.
Yes, my lady, I come.
I call the groom for the horses to speed thy way.
There is a light in the garden. Someone must put it out.
Pay it no mind. Anon, to our darling boy.
The lights go down as all exit. Through the window, the light remains in the distance. Scene 12. 14 years later. A celebration in the house of Capulet. There is dancing and much merriment. Capulet and Lucio, looking older, enter. They are both lavishly dressed and holding bejeweled wine cups.
Welcome, gentlemen. Oh, ladies that have had their toes unplagued with corns will have a bout with you. My mistresses, which one of you all will now deny to dance? Now, she that makes dainty, she, I'll swear, hath corns. Welcome, gentlemen. No, I have seen the day that I have worn a visor and could tell a whispering tale in a fair lady's ear, such as would please. Oh, 'tis gone, 'tis gone, 'tis gone. You are welcome, gentlemen. Come, musicians, play. A hall. Give room and foot it, girls. Whew, more light, you knaves. And turn the tables up and quench the fire. The room hath grown too hot.
Ah, brother, this unlooked-for sport comes well.
Nay, sit now. Sit, good brother Lucio, for you and I are past our dancing days. How long is now since last yourself and I were in a mask?
I remember not, but tonight I shall foot it merrily.
Felicitations to your lady, the lively Helena. You are a lucky man. And young Tybalt there. I say, the room is too hot. His face is red.
What, hot-blooded once again? I must speak with him.
A father's words are often spurned.
What can I do? He is not himself. He stays out late, roaming the streets, getting into duels, even though the prince forbade it. Helena and I have tried speaking to him, but he shouts us down and calls us dolts.
Well, young men always joust with their fathers. It's his nature. Stay, I shall speak with him. Look, here comes my lady, my light.
Does her star never dim? How does she stay so fair?
Now, please, keep her company whilst I go to see if I can discern Tybalt's mind, for I have a mind of my own to share with him.
Rose, now a mature woman, enters, scrutinizing the room and nodding to her guests. She is elegantly dressed and impeccably groomed, adorned with jewels and gold. She carries herself as a woman who knows she is watched and desires to be seen. She beckons slightly, and the nurse leans in.
Nurse, who is the young man speaking to Juliet?
You can tell, everyone's masked.
How foolish of Capulet to have a masked party. How am I to know who is who in such a melee? Who is yon masked lad?
For all we know, he could be a Montague.
Thy thoughts jump too easily into thy mouth these days.
'Tis a symptom of age, my lady.
Go, see what young blood speaks with Juliet. Good evening, brother. Thy wife speaks lively with our honored guest, the Count Paris.
She seeks to make a daughter of his sister.
And Capulet speaks with Tybalt for the same goal. By the end of the night, 2 matches shall be made, and the family shall be stronger than ever. But what's this? Tybalt scorns Capulet. What is it?
I wish I knew. Thou hast always been able to read his face. Thou knowest his very heart.
And why not?
Tybalt charges angrily across the stage in front of Rose and Lucio. Rose steps forward and stops him with a hand to his chest.
How none of you? Where goest thou so suddenly and in such tumult?
A Montague is in this house.
Montague. How dost thou know?
I recognize a Montague as I recognize my own face. I sought to challenge him, but before I could strike, I was stopped by your husband, lady, my false lord Capulet.
Bite thy tongue to call thy uncle false.
Whilst I stand ready to defend, he would rather that I bend not.
Thou rash young man, I tell thee, hold.
He takes the side of a Montague above me, and casts me out like a man with plague.
No, Tybalt, thou cannot go. There is much...
I say I must.
Thou shalt turn and beg favor with thine uncle and host.
I would rather rot, old man.
Calm, nephew, calm. I beg thee to stay. Count Paris is with thy mother. Go and speak with her.
What do I care about Paris when my sworn enemy is among us? My skin crawls at the very thought. I go, but I keep watch. The walls are high. He shall not pass unnoticed.
But Tybalt, go Lucio after him.
Hey, not I.
But you know he must...
I tell thee no. Thou holds him too close. It is noticed. Did you hear him? The semblance of his face? It's as if he knows.
How could that ever be?
Children observe. They are preternatural beings. 'Tis in their nature. They absorb through the very air. Perhaps I should not have allowed.
You regret?
No, not in taking of him. Thou.
Me.
Thou makes thyself too ever present in his life. He sees his party, for example.
I only seek to be included. To include Tybalt in our family affairs as a good aunt.
Ah, Tybalt. Aye, Tybalt. The room hath grown too hot. Too hot indeed for Tybalt. Now I bid him leave to cool himself down. Now, he and his friends would make a challenge here under my roof.
But we agreed.
My apologies, my lord, for my son's behavior.
His youthful blood, I know.
Tybalt was to meet Paris.
But Juliet is to meet Paris.
He must return. Lucio, go speak with him.
I have cast him out, I say, and out he stays.
No.
I shall speak with him on the morrow, my lord.
But Tybalt is to meet the Countess Paris.
Perhaps he is unsuited to the position.
If that is your will.
The plan, my lords, is to raise the family up.
Your family?
Our family. The house of Capulet includes the house of Valencio, my brother and his son, who fights only to protect thee.
Well, the prince hath decreed death to those who break the peace.
I saw no such behavior.
I stopped it. He was ready to fight a Montague.
Montague hath no...
Yes, a Montague. Here, in my house, and not just one. The young bloods took advantage of the masks and my good nature, and are in the midst of us, eating my food, drinking my wine, and laughing.
This is an intrusion, a violation.
Calm, my lady, calm. They shall be endured.
Tybalt must return. He knows the way to deal with...
I tell thee, as I told Tybalt, they shall be endured. Am I not the master here?
Sister, remember, a dish best eaten cold.
'Tis only young Romeo and his friends. Look, Mercutio makes merry, and all are laughing. And when they are full of wine, we shall cast them into the street.
Juliet. Where is Juliet? Nurse! Where is the nurse? Juliet! Juliet!
Up there! Our nurse speaks now to Juliet. All is well, my sister. All is well. Allow me to join my lady Helena, and we shall take our leave.
And thy son? Perhaps if I were to speak with him.
What good would that do?
A word from a doting aunt.
You dote too much.
And you upon Juliet. How is she to learn when you spare her such? The alliance with Paris is crucial. Think on it, brother and sister to rule.
Brother?
Indeed. If Tybalt marries Paris' sister, he will become Juliet's brother as well as a count.
If Juliet marries Paris?
She will. It is up to us to ensure her place this very week, if necessary.
Rose, this talk grows too rich. Rose, thou art always scheming.
Planning, dear brother. Planning.
Thou hast hit it. She doth scheme. And yet her many schemes hath made me the richer, and thou too, my brother. Now I value her schemes as I value her companionship.
There, my lady signals. I must attend Helena.
I go with thee to bid her well. Helena, wilt thou come and bid Helena good morrow?
A moment with the nurse to see if Juliet. How now, nurse? Who was the masked youth with Juliet?
Questions. Does no one know the names of their own guests? Why must I run about learning the names of all who attend?
Wife, I bid thee come, leave Juliet to her nurse. The party wanes, we must to bed.
Moment, husband. Go thee.
The corns on my feet cry out.
Wife.
Yes, Lord, I come.
Scene 13. The next morning in the house of Capulet.
I have been plagued all night with voices, vexed by visions, and most anxiously awaited thee. Where hast thou been?
Questions. Does no one ask, how fares thee?
I see thou art well. Why didst thou not deliver me the message?
Message? I bring no message.
Where hast thou been?
About?
About what and for whom?
About my work for you and yours.
I have not seen Juliet since the celebration last night. Where is the girl?
She writes poetry in her room, my lady.
The masked youth last night. 'Twas not Paris. She barely spoke to him. Who was the young man with Juliet at the party?
Juliet accosted me with the same question. She asked me, what is yond gentleman? The son and heir of old Tiberio, says I. What's he? She said that now is going out the door. Mary, that I think be young Petruchio, says I. Yet again she persists. What's that he that follows here that would not dance? I know not, says I. Go ask his name. And she sends me off, insensitive of the corns on my toes. And great lover of the last, I did her bidding.
His name, nurse? If it pleases thee.
His name is Romeo, and a Montague, the only son of thy great enemy.
Cold to my heart. This is true.
By my troth, I said unto Juliet, just as I tell thee now, 'tis Romeo, the son of thy great enemy.
As Tybalt warned. How came he to meet Juliet?
I know not.
And Juliet, what says she?
Juliet spoke, but in riddle. A love from hate, loathed enemy, only love.
What nonsense this child speaks.
But she said 'twere a dance she learned, and of no importance.
I am concerned about this meeting.
Meeting, my lady? I know of no meeting.
Last night, of course.
Last night, of course. She did meet Romeo, indeed.
Romeo seems a bright lad, well proportioned and handsome, was he not?
From what I saw, my lady, he was handsome. Very handsome. The spitting image of his father at the same age.
And schooled by him, no doubt, in the very same ways.
The apple falls not far from the tree.
And the apple from the gnarly tree is gnarly to the core. A lesson there for all, and the sooner Juliet learns it, the better.
Perhaps she reaches for the apple you were denied.
Lord Capulet has decided Juliet will marry the County Paris Thursday next.
But marriage, she's but a child, not yet 14.
As was I.
And too young as well. But last week, I heard Capulet say to the Count Paris that he would give Juliet time to enjoy her childhood a little bit longer as she is his last. Nay, my lady, tell him no to this marriage with Paris.
The Count Paris will not wait, and the alliance is too important for the family.
Perhaps Juliet has other notions of marriage.
What kind of notions?
Romantic notions.
Don't all young girls? She needs to awaken to the world as it is, and not as a romantic dream. How to teach that child?
She has your passion, but not your head.
Instead of planning her wedding trousseau, she moons of young Romeo.
You have hit on the matter. Why, just today she sent me forth with a message to the very same.
The same? You mean?
The Romeo.
Did you do this?
What harm, my lady? 'Twere a poem.
What harm? Thy memory has softened in thy old age.
'Twere a lovesick poem of a dreamy young girl.
I was once such a dreaming young girl, but I was rudely awakened.
Thou wert a headstrong girl who threatened to throw herself off the balcony over a dress. Not like our Juliet. She lives only to please her mother and father. Of that I am sure.
Calm thyself, good nurse. Perhaps no harm, as you say. Let her send a poem, even arrange a meeting. Perhaps she will light a flame in young Montague's heart.
That she hath, I am sure. To know Juliet is to love her by my troth. Oh, one can deny her nothing.
Romeo, encouraged, will agree, but before they can meet, Juliet will be taken off by Paris as his bride, leaving Romeo unsatisfied, and all shall be schooled the wiser.
But for what purpose?
Questions! Questions! Am I not the lady of the house? Now go, and do as I say before it is too late.
But, my lady, Juliet is your only child.
Only daughter.
Does she not deserve more?
More than me? More than any of us?
Before 'tis too late. I remember now the rhyme Juliet said. My only love sprung from my only hate, too early seen unknown, and known too late. Prodigious birth of love it is to me, that I must love a loathed enemy. I pray that Juliet will know less of a Montague than her mother.
Scene 14. In the garden of Capulet.
This garden. So many years ago I waited, breathless, restless. My passion burning, driving me nearly mad. She gave me hope, did she not? Did she not speak of the vow we once made that gave me cause to wait and wait as I did night after night for one full week? The moon, bright as the night we met, waned until it was a quarter. I thought I saw hope flicker through a window. A light, a dark veiled figure moving slowly, furtively. My heart quickened. The years melted away. I felt the horse beneath me, her arms around me, her voice in my ear. Away, away, the sound of hooves flying. But not my horse. Not with me. With him. His horse away from me, away, away, beating the sound of beating hooves, nay, my own heart beating. Beating with a fever, I returned home and bid all in my house never to speak the name Capulet without bitter and gall. I instructed my servants to bite their thumbs and show their backs whenever they passed a Capulet in the square. To have ready knives and swords, to duel if necessary. And then this sudden love for Capulet returns to my nest. And the world echoes of the name Capulet once again.
What strange weed grows in this garden under the harsh sunlight? The vine hath risen to choke the willow.
Rose.
Who dares to address me as such? You are no friend of mine.
My Lady Rose. A word.
A word. If I gave you leave to utter one word, what would it be?
Love? What else is there but love?
I can think of many words but love. At this late hour.
Come not for me, but for my son.
What son do you speak of?
Romeo, of course.
Romeo. Of course. What have I to do with Romeo?
Juliet.
What has Juliet to do with Romeo?
They are in love.
You know this.
I know my son. I know his heart.
I know this truth. You know not your son, nor his heart.
Romeo is in love with Juliet, and I come to plead his case. Allow them to meet.
It rests not with me. I follow the wishes of my lord and husband Capulet. He will not allow a meeting.
I've come to ask you, to beg you.
I shall speak plain. Juliet will marry Count of Paris.
Why?
It is arranged. There is nothing you can do to stop it.
Rose, put away this feud that has brought a plague on both our houses for the sake of our children's happiness.
Juliet will not break her father's heart. She will do as she is told.
But what about love?
Love. Again, that word.
You wish to consign your daughter to the same fate as you?
To live in a palace and become a great lady with influence over friends and family. Any good mother would wish that for her child.
But a palace is made of stone. It's gray and dark and damp.
A bedmate can take care of the dark and damp.
Yes. But which bedmate? Sleeping beside the wrong bedmate is a long, cold winter.
Others can be found, as you have proved many times over.
I do not wish my life upon my son. I wish him to go with his heart.
Why should it be different for him? You went against your heart. You went against me.
What else could I have done?
You could have been a man like my brother Lucio. He was faithful. He took in your cast-offs.
I didn't cast you off. In my heart, I still loved you. I tried to amend. I was waiting for you here in this garden night after night, only to be spurned.
But you ran home to your lady fast enough. Within a month, she was carrying Romeo, the lout. You now wish to match with my sweet Juliet.
I beg you, let them meet, if only to discover their incompatibility.
Juliet is to marry Paris. It is decided. My family depends on this.
I beg you, let our children have the happiness we were denied.
No such happiness exists.
Romeo is true. Truer than I ever knew how to be.
Oh, no, I beg thee. Oh, God, let it not be. Oh, what shall we do? Oh, what shall we do?
What is the matter? What is...
Lucio enters carrying a corpse covered with a bloodied white sheet. Lucio stumbles beside himself with anger and grief. Montague steps back unseen by Lucio. Rose rushes to Lucio as he collapses from grief and the weight of the body. He holds the body tightly.
What has happened?
Look upon his handsome face. Gaze upon his golden brow, for we shall see it shine no more. Our son, our son.
Tybalt? Star of my world. Life's candles are burnt out. How? How?
Killed by Romeo.
No, Romeo would never.
I saw him. He killed his own brother.
It is not possible. No.
You here. I should cut out your heart, vile man, here to mock our family. I will strangle the life from him with my bare hands.
No, Lucio.
You stopped me before, but not again. He is the cause.
He is the father.
No, I am the father. Tybalt is mine. Mine to love and mine to mourn. He had none of him in life. He will have none of him in death.
Rose, what does it mean? Tybalt?
Stupid. Stupid man. Blind to all that has transpired. Leave here! Be gone! Tell Romeo he will not lay his eyes on Juliet again, not living, not dead. Juliet marries Paris if it is the last thing she does on this earth. Tybalt.
Rose, tell me true. Is Tybalt my...
Tybalt is dead. Whatever he was has died too. Romeo is banished by the prince to Mantua.
Banished?
All have lost.
Scene 15. The tomb. Darkness. Once more Rose stands in the tomb of Capulet, before the body of Tybalt, covered with a white shroud, and the bodies of Romeo and Juliet lying together under a bloodied white sheet.
The glittering hall, now dark and empty. Night's candles are burnt out. The fire turned to ashes. The players play no more. All my work, my plans, my schemes, the fruits of my labor lie moldering behind this door.
Rose reaches into her breast and removes a lock of hair tied in a discolored ribbon. She places it on Tybalt's heart.
Tybalt, my heart's love from my heart betrayed, for death laid out like a feast displayed, ruled by passion, fueled by poison, all my deeds for thee were done. Juliet, thy face a mirror to mine, thy soul a mystery. Thou chose love in spite of me. Did gratitude ever wet my lips? In my heart, did love ever abide? Or was it twisted by ambition and pride? What is left for me to do? Who is left to love me? None. No one. What's done cannot be undone.
Rose hearkens to voices outside the tomb and goes to the open door. She struggles to close the heavy door. She tries to lock it, but there is no lock. She looks desperately around the tomb. She lunges towards the body of Juliet beneath the bloody sheet. She searches and finds the knife, raises it to her eyes, then lifts it high above her head. She turns and plunges the knife into the soft putty between the stones of the tomb. She digs and scrapes and digs until she loosens a large stone. She pries away the stone and drops it heavily onto the floor. She grunts and cries as she determinedly pushes, pulls, and drags the stone to the front of the door. Sweating, dirty, out of breath, she falls exhausted to the dirt floor in front of the blocked door.
My lady, are you there? Where has she gone?
Thou shalt not find me, dear sweet nurse, until my life is complete. I'll take my rest now. Here, with my children. Come to me, my lovely ones, and together we shall speak.
End of play.
Here, the darkness knows not when to end. No quarter to us shall extend. So little time now left to spend, till sorrow with us all descend into an endless night.
We mourn, so delicate is life once it is born. Oh, love ripped from me, we mourn, as blood drips from the well-hidden thorn, impaled upon its point.
As deeds once thought to be as sweet as wine,